Hey, it's your boy Sergeant Hooked on Henshins. So today is our Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger episode 2 review. Love the premiere as I told you. And I was really pumped for this to come out. And the subs just released like last night, I think, or something like that. I watched it once raw, and then I watched it again with subtitles. So overall, a really fun second episode. So what I like so far is that so far we're getting introduced to each team member pretty much individually. First episode introduced Jiran and Kaito, which is okay. But from here on out, we got introduced in this episode to Gaon. Next episode is Majin, and it's assumed there'll be one more after that for Vroon, and that'll be the main team for a little bit until we get our 6th Ranger. So it's supposed to be 2 Kaiser or something like that. Anyway, so episode 2, main plot of it, as we saw from last time, the Mushroom World coming. So it's explained that the Tojiri gears that the Toji Tendo Empire uses to like trap worlds in, that it traps that world within that gear, and then they can use that power not only to like infect other worlds and mess with other worlds, but also if a little foot soldier person uses one of the gears, they turn into a general. I think they're called that world, like he's just called Mushroom World, which is kind of odd, but yeah, so kind of cool how the collectible evil gimmick, if you will, is used to help the bad guys that way. Also later on, once he's defeated, the Kudai test, the giant like robot thing that they fought in the end of last episode, if it steps on that gear, it becomes a giant version of the thing they just fought. So anyway, beginning of it has Jiran kind of going back and forth with Kaito about a few things, telling him about the Toji Tendo Empire, stuff like that. We're also introduced to Gaon. He's another Kikonoid. He's really interesting. He like absolutely adores all organic life, like humans, animals, everything. There's a few scenes of him with a dog and a cat trying to get to it to pet him, and then they run away. It's really sad. The voice actor is great for him too. But anyway, he hates Kikonoids, which is weird because then Jiran comments like, "You're a Kikonoid. Like, what are you talking about? How do you hate Kikonoids?" But anyway, so part of the plot in the beginning is Kaito and Jiran trying to recruit for the Zenkaigers. They have like a little sign. Kaito's transformed and on top of Jiran in his Tyranno form, and talking about, join the Zenkaigers, blah blah blah. We're recruiting. If you join, you'll get a free voucher for 10 candies or something like that at my grandmother's shop. And like the news is on them and everything, and they introduce themselves as the Zenkaigers, and it's just a really fun scene, and also really helped by the fact that literally nobody steps up to help. And they're like, what do you mean? What about the mushrooms? And blah, blah, blah. Doesn't that bother you guys? And one guy's like, I think they're kind of cute, actually. So at first, everybody has mushrooms growing out of their head. Not a big deal. Gawan has one, Majin, a bunch of them do. Then it's revealed once the one foot soldier uses the gear and becomes the mushroom world, like monster, that those mushrooms release a poisonous gas and can kill people. So we get a really fun fight scene where we're introduced to the mushroom world monster of the week, if you will, and we get a really good fight scene with Jiran and Zenkaiger transforming again. Of course, I think it's just going to be a running gag that Jiran's always going to be vibing to the music from the Changer. I love it. Look out for a Henshin video for him pretty soon. But anyway, so they're fighting and they use the what was it again? Is it Mask Man? Or no, Goggle V, that's right. The Goggle V gear, and it gives them these ribbons, because Sentai is just very goofy with what their weapons are. I've never seen Goggle V, so I don't know anything about it, but they use the Goggle V gear, and they get these ribbons, and they're like, he's like, oh, like this, and they're twirling it around, and then of course Seichan says back at the base, oh, that's blah blah blah, Goggle V, and whatever. And so they're using it, and then they throw them together, they tie together, and they're like, come on, jump in. He's like, all right, and the monster jumps in like he's doing jump rope. And as he tries to jump in, they trip him, and then they electrocute him with it. It's like a ribbon spark or something. I love this show. I love this show's absurdity and goofiness tied into the anniversary aspect and still building the characters. I love it. Anyway, so after that, the mushroom guy escapes, and we go back to Gaon, who at first tried telling Jiran and Kaito he didn't want to join them and to be their friends, but he doesn't want to join the team. Mainly because Jiran's a Kikonoid and he doesn't like Kikonoids, even though he is one. There's also a running gag in this episode of Gaon basically like ignoring everything Jiran says. which is really funny. But eventually what happens is Gawain's at this pet shop, and he's like, oh, if only I could have one of these pets, blah, blah, blah. And one of the monster of the week, the mushroom world monster, releases the gas from the mushrooms, and it starts hurting the pets and all the people, so he gets pissed. And actually a little scene, just like how we saw Jiran wink, you know, he does like the little scowl thing with his eyes that get smaller. And he goes and finds Kaito and Jiran. Kaito gives him a Girtlinger, and we get our first trio change Zenkai. So we can finally get Zenkai Gaon. What I like is that he's supposed to be representative of like Gao Ranger and like the animal-based Sentai, but they went even farther than that, tying that into his personality that he loves animals also and like people. I really like that aspect that they went that far into him like that. But yeah, we do another running gag of the whole thing where Jiran just like shot the one foot soldier in the middle of the speech last time. Gaon does it again. Jiran's like, oh, I did the same thing actually, and he just ignores him. And Jiran's like, okay. So anyway, they go to do change Zenkai, they put their gears in. You know, he's actually explained it to him. He has enough time to explain it to him. Kaito does. You can hear him explaining it while the bad guys are like, what's going on? And they do it. And the little, you know, dun 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 dun, bang bang, bang bang is going. And every time that it goes from the changer, from the Gearlinger, you got Jiran over there going. Just I love him so much. Oh. So they transform, they fight, and we get our second gear used of the episode, which is the Huracanger gear for Kage no Mai, Chonimpo Kage no Mai, which is the slashing through with like the silhouettes and like the sliding door thing. Really cool to see that. I love that visual. So yeah, they do that, and they end up defeating the monster of the week. I think Gaon and Zenkaiger attack together, do their like final attack thing with the Girtlinger. Anyway, so defeat the monster, the gear falls, and the one, I think his name's Ijarud, who's like the scientist, kind of finstery type guy, is watching them the whole time. And he's like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen now. And he's like, Kudai test, and he brings out the Kudai test, and it accidentally steps on the gear, transforms him into a giant mushroom world Kudai test. So Ijarud instantly is like, oh, that's what happens. It seems like our Tojiri gears affect our Kudai test as well. They didn't know that. So I like how we're like getting an explanation for how things work, but also learning right alongside our characters. Maybe they be a villain or hero. I like that kind of aspect, and the goofiness just works. So after this, we get Gaon and Jiran becoming their Zenkai Hakai, giant forms, Tyranno, and of course the lion form for Gaon. And they're fighting, doing their thing, and they're not really working together very well. So Zenkaiser's like, fine, I'll get big myself. Flips his gear over. He thinks he's going to become big. No. So there's an aspect with the mecha where it's two halves of one mecha, right? So with Zenkai Jira Gaon, it's, Jiran and Gaon together as one mecha, right? We get another with Majin and Vroom later. I'm guessing there's going to be one with all four of them plus Zenkaiser's robot or something. But anyway, they do this amazing thing where before the thing starts, for some reason, it pushes them together for a second and they kiss accidentally. And he's like, why'd you kiss me? Which is funny because it's like that meme, like, now kiss, where you got two action figures. You're like, please, like, you're playing with them like they're going to kiss. They do that with Jiran and Gaon. So anyway, we get our first Gatai, so it's really cool, the effect of it. You see, like, the silhouette of Zenkaiser behind them, kind of pouring them together. What kind of gave me the idea, it was almost like watching, like, it was like he was trying to, like, imitate, like, a little kid trying to put his Transformers together. Which I like that aspect of, like, the mecha coming together based on Zenkaiser manipulating it. I think that's kind of a cool aspect. But anyway, so he puts them together and combines them into one mecha. He can actually separate them at any time. He does it during the fight to dodge an attack. It's kind of cool. So we get Zenkaio Jiragaon, and they fight. They do an attack near the end that looks pretty close to Daizujin's, slash, circular slash thing. Yeah, I think something from Bokenger is referenced there too. Maybe Gogo 5. I don't know. So yeah, really good fight. They beat the shit out of the mushroom monster, and afterwards, he clearly Gaon decides to join. They try to introduce him to Seichan. He's like, whatever, and just tosses him because he's a robot too, so he doesn't care. So yeah, now we have Gaon joining. And overall a really good episode, a very goofy premise, but enough of a really good setup that we get to understand our characters, we get to understand Gaon. I love that he has the animal aspects, not only of what he's representing for Sentai, as far as Gao Ranger and the animal-based Sentai, but also it's in his personality. I love that it's tied together very neatly. Didn't get that as neatly tied together for Zeron, but I'm sure we'll get that as we go on with tributes and stuff. But yeah, really, really awesome. I liked the 3, member henshin together, transformation together, change Zenkai, if you will. The gear usage is really cool. I'm still wondering what we're going to do as far as tributes. If we're going to meet the full teams or just a few members or anything. I don't know. And if the gears can all be used with the mecha and what that means. If it's going to like bring out a part of that mecha or a new piece for Zenkaiger Gaon or Zenkaiger Maji Vroom. And what they're going to do with that. Overall, a really, really solid episode. If I had to rate it, I think I gave the premiere a 10 out of 10. I probably would give this probably another strong 10 out of 10 just because it did a really good job introducing Gaon and still heightening, Zeron and Kaito's relationship and their relationship forming with Gaon. Next week is going to be Majin, the pink Zenkaiger, and I think some kind of ice world that's coming into play instead of the mushroom world, and it looks like we're using some kind of I think we might be getting the Tokyuger gear in this next month, so hype train for that. But yeah, hopefully you guys really liked the episode and really enjoyed the review. Pretty soon I'll be doing a review of, I just got my Geertlinger in, so I'll be doing a review of the DX Geertlinger from Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger, of course. It came with that, the buckle, and the 5 main team gears. So I'll do a review of that, show off some sounds it can do, and eventually I'm going to do at least a change Zenkai for my boy Zeron because I love him so much. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for liking the content, subscribing, commenting if you can. If you'd like to let me know what your thoughts are in the episode below, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Love to have a good back and forth with the community of what you guys think about the episodes and everything. There's maybe something Sentai-wise you guys want to talk about, let me know. Or anything Tokusatsu related, let me know. I can definitely do a video on it. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for the love and support. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. And as always, stay hooked on henshins. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. Peace out. See ya. What the hell was that? Bye.